Welcome to a guided meditation to be more disciplined on Declutter the Mind. In this practice, we're going to use mindfulness to help us practice discipline and manage urges. So you may be seeking more discipline to either stick with something or avoid something. Either way, there's often an urge calling to us. It's either keeping us from sticking to a positive habit or it's drawing us to a negative habit. And an urge is a thought, it's a perception and a sensation. It may happen randomly throughout the day, or it might happen as a result of something reminding you. Either way, it's a thought that's surfaced in your mind. So, what we want to try and practice is not acting on these thoughts. We want to simply notice these urges as they appear, note them as thoughts, and then allow them to pass on their own. So, being mindful of our urges and becoming a witness to them instead of a victim of them can help us better deal with urges as they happen and build more discipline. So, first, find yourself a comfortable seating spot, whether it's a chair or a cushion on the floor, and sit upright with your hands resting in your lap. And then, with your eyes open, take a few deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And on the next out breath, gently close your eyes and allow your breathing to return to a comfortable pace and begin to notice some of the physical sensations around you, such as your legs touching the chair or your arms touching your lap. And maybe you can notice the warmth or coolness of the room that you are in. Maybe it's a tingling sensation on the body. And just begin to notice these physical sensations and physical points of contact. And now that we've grounded our attention in the physical, let's turn our attention to the breath. So we're not forcing or changing the breath here, we're just observing each breath as it passes. We're noticing the body breathing on its own. So you can notice the rising and falling of each breath. And maybe it's more noticeable to you in your chest or in your stomach. Maybe it's the tip of your nose. And as we try to maintain our attention on the breath, you'll notice thoughts begin to surface in the mind, attempting to take your attention away from the breath. You may even catch yourself having wandered for several minutes, completely forgetting that you were even trying to meditate. And this is completely normal. So, whenever this happens, just gently return your attention back to the breath. And as thoughts surface, we don't want to make judgments around our thoughts or get lost in thinking about our thoughts. Just make a note of your thoughts or label them, such as thought or thinking, and then gently bring your attention back to the breath. This is part of what mindfulness meditation helps us practice. We notice thoughts and even urges as they enter our mind, make a note of them instead of acting on them, and then allowing them to pass. And now we can begin to count the breaths as they pass. Every time we reach a count of 10, we can start the count over and then count the breaths again. And again, if a distraction or thought attempts to pull your attention away from the present moment, such as a sound or urge or feeling, just make a note or label what it was that distracted you, and then return to the breath and counting the breaths. Now, in the final few moments here, release your focus and allow the mind to do what it wants. And slowly now, returning your attention back to the body, your legs against the floor or chair, your arms and hands in the lap. And now, open your eyes and notice how you feel. And so you can use this practice as a tool that you can turn to the next time you have urges. You can begin to recognize your urges as just thoughts that you don't need to follow through on. Notice what happens when you notice the urge. Thanks for sitting, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for taking the time to practice. If you've enjoyed this practice, please be sure to like and subscribe. You can also join and become a member and receive access to courses and more. Head on over to declutterthemind.com for more and download our free iOS and Android app.